Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Easy English Podcast. I'm your host, Oliver, and today we are going to be talking about New Year's traditions around the world. We are going to go on a short journey to different countries and see how they celebrate New Year's, what traditions they have, and maybe just a fun fact or two from each country that we look at. And along the way, we are going to specifically learn some new vocabulary related to New Year's. So I hope you've had a great holiday if you've been off, a great Christmas if you've been celebrating Christmas, or a great any other type of holiday that you've had. And if you've been working with no holiday, I hope you've had a great week anyway. So welcome back and let's get started. So, I think that the new year is an exciting time. It's often a fresh start, a time for celebration, and a chance to reflect on the past year. So we're going to explore how different countries celebrate this special time, and we'll definitely learn plenty of phrases and words along the way. So New Year's is a time in general to say goodbye to the old year and to welcome in the new one. And I've made another episode about this, but many people like to make New Year's resolutions. So do you know this word? If you've listened to the last episode, you will know this word. So a New Year's resolution is like to firmly decide on something, to promise yourself. It's a promise that you make to yourself. So for example, this year I will exercise more. In the new year, I will learn a new skill, for example. So resolutions can be a really big part of the new year. And I think that this is true in every country. Well, not every country, but lots of countries around the world. So I wanted to briefly mention that. And if you haven't listened to the episode about New Year's resolutions, check it out. It was the episode before this one. So you can go back and listen to it afterwards. So, let's explore how people celebrate New Year's in different countries. And first, we will start with my own, the UK. So in the UK, many people watch fireworks at midnight. So fireworks displays, maybe they go to pubs or bars or out for some drinks, and this is, midnight, I should clarify, is 12 a.m. So the time when the new year starts. There are also some traditional songs that some people sing around the new year as well. And in general, I would say in the UK, New Year's is not a huge celebration, apart from Scotland. In Scotland, it is a big celebration, and there's a lot of kind of parades and fireworks and everything else around it. I don't know so much about it, so I won't talk too much about it, but it is a big holiday in Scotland. But for the rest of the UK, Christmas is the big one. So New Year's kind of takes a back seat, I would say. It is like the less important brother holiday for the UK. But I know that is not the case in many other countries. In many other countries, New Year's is the biggest holiday. It is bigger than Christmas. It's bigger than Easter. It's bigger than all of the rest. But we'll get to those a little bit later. So New Year's in the UK, not such an exciting holiday here. Probably people just meet with friends most of the time, have some drinks and celebrate People sometimes have parties as well, like a New Year's party. But apart from that, nothing crazy. Okay, so let's look at Spain. So I read an interesting fact from Spain, and it said that in Spain, people eat 12 grapes at midnight. So one for each month of the year. And to me, this sounds very Spanish. Some nice grapes. And this is believed to bring good luck for the year ahead. So luck is good fortune. So it's when good things will happen to you. And of course, a grape is a small round fruit. So please, I know I have listeners from Spain. We actually have listeners from over 110 countries now. Can you believe it? That's crazy. But I know that around, from my statistics that I get, around 6 or 7% of my listeners are from Spain. So please tell me, is this true? Do you guys eat 12 grapes at midnight? One for each month of the year. Okay, so the next country is Japan. Japan. This is a country I am actually hoping to visit in 2025. I'm going to plan a trip to Japan, I hope. So in Japan, people ring a temple bell 108 times. And it says here that this is to remove bad feelings like anger or jealousy and start the year fresh. And just for vocabulary, so a temple is a place of religious worship. And a bell is a metal object that makes a ringing sound. So you might hit it or move it and it goes gong, for example. So yeah, this sounds a bit more of maybe a cultural tradition, maybe a little bit more spiritual or religious. So I imagine that not everyone does this, but let me know if you do, because we also have lots of listeners from Japan. I know there's about 5% of our listeners from Japan, so quite a lot. Okay, the next one I have here, and I know that we have listeners from Brazil. Some of my most frequent commenters are from Brazil on YouTube. So in Brazil, I have read that it's common to wear white clothes for peace and jump over 7 waves in the sea for good luck. Is this true? You can let me know in the comments below. So if jumping over waves is a tradition on New Year's, I'm very curious. It sounds like an interesting tradition. Okay, so the USA. The USA, to be honest, is quite similar to the UK. But one big thing that happens is in New York City, a big ball drops in Times Square. And this marks the start of the new year. And millions of people from around the world, really, and around the US watch this event live or on TV. And that's, they call it, I suppose, the ball drop, or when the ball drops. And that's when a large ball slowly moves down a pole, and that signals the new year. It's a bit of a tradition there, so that's why I wanted to include it. Okay, so another holiday that is very popular, particularly in areas of Eastern Europe, in Russia, maybe Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, basically former Soviet countries, is definitely New Year's. And in my experience in some of these countries as well, it is like the main holiday. It's their version of Christmas, a really big holiday. And of course, because my wife is Russian, we also celebrate New Year's in this way. So we have a big celebration at Christmas and a big celebration on New Year's. And during New Year's, they have a big meal, so lots of different dishes on New Year's Eve, lots of wine, maybe some drinks, and gift giving as well, so exchanging presents. Although we do our presents on Christmas, and then we just celebrate on New Year's with friends and family. But also I know it's quite popular for even songs about New Year's, movies about New Year's. It's almost like, for me, an alternate reality. When I was living in Russia, it felt very strange because it was like an alternate reality where Christmas was New Year's. There's even like a Santa Claus figure called Father Frost that comes on New Year's and gives children presents. And he looks exactly like Santa Claus, but he dresses in blue. So yeah, a lot of similarities. And it's not actually a coincidence. Why? So during the Soviet Union, Christmas was actually banned, and it was part of Soviet policy to try and essentially re-establish a main holiday. So a lot of traditional traditions based around Christmas were re-established onto New Year's. They were moved to New Year's, and New Year's developed into a big holiday. So instead of the Christmas spirit, people have the New Year's spirit. So that New Year's feeling, New Year's songs, New Year's movies, and everything alongside it. So it's interesting. Of course, history affects our traditions, politics affect our traditions, and our celebrations and holidays as well. So for me, that's an interesting case as to how that tradition and holiday has developed differently from many other regions in the world. And of course, in China, they have big New Year's celebrations too, but it seems to me that these are on Chinese New Year, which is a different date. But perhaps I will make an episode about this separately. So that's all I wanted to talk about today. Just a little bit about some different New Year's traditions. Let me know in the comments, what traditions do you have on New Year's? Do you like to have a quiet evening? Do you go out or meet with friends? Do you spend it with family? Tell me what you do. I'm very interested to learn. And tell me where you're from as well. So which country you do this in. Thank you so much for listening and have a very happy New Year. Goodbye.